Jesse Lingard hasn't always had the best time of it at Manchester United, having barren spells, loans out, time away from the club, but coming back after a successful loan at West Ham last season, could Jesse Lingard be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's secret weapon this season? Let's have a look at the stats and find out. So Jesse Lingard is now 28 years old and he's at a crucial point of his Manchester United career. He's had loans out, he's had time away, he's now talking about a new contract at Manchester United, the last big contract of his 20s if he were to sign it. Rumours are that he's already rejected early advances from United because he wants assurances over his first team abilities at Manchester United. Well, in this video we're going to be looking at what Jesse Lingard brings to Manchester United and what he can bring to us going forward if he were to sign a new deal, and whether he can be a member of the squad that takes us from nearly men to winning trophies this season. Let's start with his age. He's 28 years old. He's been on loan all over the place throughout his career. Derby, Brighton, West Ham most recently, and other examples as well. He's turned from what used to be a sort of tricky winger into more of an attacking threat. Great runs in behind, very good at holding the ball, very good at finding space and bringing others into space as well. But let's have a look at a few of the stats that made Jesse Lingard who he is and exactly how he's going to help Manchester United this season. By the way, if you haven't already, make sure you check out paddockmerch.com. We've got loads of new stuff on there. Here you can see the Fernandes hoodie. We've got Bruno stuff, Ronaldo stuff, Ole stuff, all kinds of good stuff on there. Hit paddockmerch.com. Link is in the description. So going back a couple of years then to the last time Jesse Lingard was a regular for Manchester United. In the 2019-20 season, he made 40 appearances for Manchester United, but only managed 4 goals and 2 assists in all competitions, which, you know, isn't the numbers of someone that we're going to be talking about, maybe coming off the bench, maybe making the difference in those games, bringing a unique style, a unique set of qualities to Manchester United. Those stats simply aren't good enough. But the thing that Jesse's done so brilliantly, he's gone away and reinvented his career. So when you look at the stats, Jesse Lingard in that 19-20 season slightly underperformed his XG with 2.7 expected goals and only scoring 1 goal in the Premier League. He also slightly underperformed his expected assists with a 0.9 expected assist and actually no assist. But you know what? You can't actually blame someone for their expected assist being low because once that pass is done, then it's up to the striker. So that's not necessarily his fault. But the thing with Jesse Lingard is, throughout his career, he's done this thing where he's not been, early in his career, he was told he's not quite big enough physically, he's not necessarily ready for the Premier League. So he went away and he matured. One of the great things about Jesse Lingard, and he's done this throughout his career, is when he's told, here's why you're not playing at Manchester United, he's gone away and he's worked on that. When he was younger, he was told he's not used to the physicality of the Premier League, he's not ready for that, he's too small. So he went away and he went on loan to Leicester, to Birmingham, to Brighton. He worked on that, he got first team experience and he came back, and we all know he was one of the pivotal people in winning us the FA Cup in 2017. He's had a great career at Manchester United, but now he needs to take that next step. So we move on to last season then. After a faltering season the year before, struggling to make it into the Manchester United side, on loan, he went to West Ham in January. And this is where things picked up again for Jesse Lingard. 16 appearances, 9 goals, 5 assists, which made him one of the highest output attackers in the Premier League from January till the end of the season last year, proving himself to be a pivotal part of a top 6 challenging side in West Ham. Now, in terms of expected goals, he was only expected to get 5 and he got 9, significantly outperforming his expected goals, which can be a bit of a double-edged sword. Sometimes you look at that overachieving of an expected goals and you can put that down to luck and say, well, statistically speaking, he should have got 5 and he got 9, so that shows he was lucky. Or you can put it down to a player playing with tons of confidence and actually saying, you know what, I'm actually better than the average player when it comes to finishing, from tight angles. As we saw the other day, he can do it from those difficult spots, cutting inside, finding top corners, hitting shots from the edge of the box. When he's on form, he can do anything. Now, surprisingly for Jesse Lingard, someone with such a good touch who can find those little bits of spaces in and around the box, his dribbling is statistically very poor. Only in the 53rd percentile for dribbles attempted, which means, compared to other wingers and attackers, he does about as much dribbling as anyone, but only in the 31st percentile in terms of dribbles completed, which means of the ones he attempted, which still wasn't very much, he isn't coming out the other end with the ball the way you would hope. Interestingly enough, one of Jesse's best attributes, and to anyone that's watched him will know this immediately, is his off-the-ball runs. He drags players out, he drags defenders away, he allows space not just for other attackers to move into, but for the ball carrier to dribble into as well, and there isn't really a stat for that. This is the thing, the modern era where it's expected goals, shot creating action, successful dribbles, all these sorts of things. A good off-the-ball run doesn't really get quantified. How do you quantify whether a run that someone made off the ball helped their team? It's very difficult to do that, and that's one of the things that has maybe led throughout his career to Jesse Lingard being underrated. He's one of those players, he doesn't come out with tons of goals, tons of assists, save for last season, but what he can do is make space for the likes, I don't know, Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford to run into those spaces, especially late game, as we've seen him deployed this season by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He comes in when the defences are getting a little bit tired, when that space is developing, and his runs and his movement are sensational at those times. And again, it's one of those stats you just can't track. There is no stat for, did he make a run off the ball and did it help his team? Because it's almost impossible to quantify. But if you watch Jesse Lingard, you see he does that brilliantly. And that's going to be the thing that puts him in this team this season. Whether it's a sub, whether it's a rotation piece, whether it's a starter in those big games, he can come on and change games. We saw that against West Ham. He won the game for Manchester United. And if we want to go from a team that, you know, are nearly men, we get to a semi-final or the odd final, we can finish second, but in a distant second, fine. But you need players like Jesse Lingard in a squad if you want to be successful, because those runs, that coming on late on, with that attacking prowess that he's got, that finishing ability that can far exceed his expected goals when he is confident, when he is playing well, those things coupled together will create spaces for his teammates, will create goals for his teammates, and will win Manchester United games, and we've already seen that. It's been a difficult couple of years for Jesse Lingard, and after what we saw from him at West Ham last season, I think that led a lot of people, myself included, to say, maybe it's time to let him go. He clearly has qualities. He clearly can have success at a good team. And maybe now's the time he goes on and does that. But what he's proving this season so far is not only can he do it at West Ham when there's less pressure, but he can come in those big moments, in those big games, and contribute to this Manchester United team. Big teams, good teams, have big squads and a lot of players that can affect games. And all the talk here the last 12 months, 18 months has been about, you know, Donny van der Beek and Bruno and these new players coming in. But maybe it's Jesse Lingard that can provide that single bit of difference that you need in a game. He can create things from nothing. We saw that against West Ham. He can bring his other players into games as well. And he's got a very good finish on him for someone that doesn't get that many goals. Jesse Lingard absolutely can be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's secret weapon this season. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know if Jesse Lingard has changed your mind, because I know a lot of people were ready to throw Jesse Lingard out. We saw last season how good he can be. We've seen this season that he's carried on that confidence. Couple of goals for England as well. He's a man who's in the goals, who's still bringing that form from last season to this season, and it's that sort of player that will make all the difference for Manchester United this year. Ronaldo can't play every minute. Bruno can't play every minute. So you have to look at the backup options. You have to look at the players that will play those minutes when the big boys aren't playing. And in a man like Jesse Lingard, we've got more than enough capability off the bench. Let me know what you think to Jesse Lingard. Has he changed your mind? Because like I said, a lot of us had already maybe said he should be moving on. But I think he's proving quite a few people wrong already this season. Again, let me know in the comments below. We'll see you in a bit.